Guys, we got cooked last night. We lost all of our 4 bets. I don't think we deserve to lose all 4, but stuff like that happens. Hoping for a bounce back today. We have a great looking slate. I'll have 5 official bets, so make sure to stay tuned. Let's dive into our bets. We had Draymond Green over 5.5 assists. He ends up with 5, gets fouled out, plays only 2 minutes in the fourth. Next bet we had LaMelo Ball under 6.5 assists. He gets 7. We had PJ Washington over 6.5 rebounds. He gets 6. He was announced to play 30 minutes. He ended up playing 21 minutes. But the funniest thing about PJ Washington, he entered the fourth quarter with 6 rebounds, played 7 minutes in the fourth, and didn't get a single rebound, and ended up at 6. And Donovan Cleveland, yeah, that one stinks. We deserve to lose that one. But LaMelo Ball, Draymond Green, and PJ Washington, I think we deserve to win 2 out of these 3. This stuff happens. We were on a great run. Night like this happens. So far on the show, we are up 13 units on 16% ROI, which is still great. The first bet will be Giannis Antetokounmpo over 6.5 assists. Wildly available at -1.4, -1.5. On the first look, this looks horrible. On the win rate, only 5 out of 21 games. But when we add expected minutes on the season, he's averaging close to 6 assists per game, covering 8 out of 21 games. And now, looking at the injury report, we can see that leader in the assist on the team, Kevin Porter Jr., is out. And when he is out, Giannis' average goes up to 6.7. And we'll take a look for the matchup. Denver allows average assist, but looking at the last 15 games, still average. And when we take a look at against defense against his position, they allow the most assists to his position. So when we exclude teams who allow least to his position, we get that he covered this line in 7 out of 9 games, averaging 7.2 assists per game. And also interesting spot was that over the last 10 games he played, Denver like 10 days ago, and had 11 assists in that game on huge 20 potential assists. And Kevin Porter Jr. played in that game, and now without Kevin Porter Jr., he should get even more. Against the Denver Nuggets, we can see that he ended up game with 59 passes made. Let's look at the Giannis. When he gets 50 plus passes made in the game, we can see that he's averaging 8.2 assists. So perfect spot to start for Giannis against Denver. They don't have anyone to protect the rim, so they'll kind of need to collapse and double Giannis in order to keep him out from the paint, and that will definitely help him get assists. We can see that lately similar players have been killing against the Denver. We can see LeBron James had 8 on 17 potential assists. We can see Middleton 4 covered, Zion covered with 4 on 10 potential assists. Scotty Barnes had 10. Paolo Banchero and Randall both covered 11 and 12 potential assists. So similar players have been going great. His numbers without Kevin Porter Jr. are great, and the matchup is great. So first bet is Giannis Antetokounmpo over 6.5 assists. For the second bet, we are going to Jaren Jackson Jr. against the Pelicans. Absolutely amazing matchup. But let's first start with the minutes. We can see that he kind of played consistently 30 plus minutes lately. So when we filter out expected minutes, we get that he is averaging 21 points over the last 21 games. Covered this in 10 out of 21, but this matchup is absolutely amazing. And looking at the injury report, no Ja Morant, the leader in points per game, no Santi Aldama, no Zakide. So out of top 5 scorers on the team, 3 are out, so he is now the first scoring option. Leader on the scoring of this team gets an unbelievable matchup. We can see that he scored most of his points spot up, post ups, transition. They are bottom of the league in those 3. Catch and shoot, at the rim, under the 10 feet, above the break 3. Absolutely amazing matchup for Jaren Jackson Jr. And let's look at the entire season. He had a very slow start to the season. I don't know what was going on with him, but he started with 10 straight unders. But since then, he kind of improved. And let's now look at the head-to-head games against the Pelicans. He had 27 on 9 from 23 from the field. Unbelievable usage. Seems like they were more than happy with Jaren Jackson Jr. taking the shots. Ja Morant was out in that game, so kind of could be like similar stuff. But Ide and Aldama were playing, and they are now out as well, so that should be great for Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight. So second official bet, Jaren Jackson Jr. against the Pelicans. Third official bet will be kind of weird, but I think this is a great spot to bet. It's Jarace Walker from Indiana Pacers over 11.5 points and rebounds, minus 140 on FanDuel, but I will still play at Caesars minus 129. Great spot because lately he's been playing a ton of minutes. If you take a look at the last 7 games, he played 30, 25, 18, 21, 26, 22. So over the last 7 games, he's averaging 24 minutes a game. So when we look at the entire season and he gets expected minutes, 18 to 30 minutes, he covered this in 27 out of 33 games. Unbelievable win rate, averaging 14.2 points, rebounds. And why is this bet so good? Because when you look at the last couple of games, he got extended run in blowouts. Against the Boston Celtics, it was a blowout. He played almost the entire fourth quarter. Another game that was a blowout, Pistons, he gets 26 minutes. Close game, he gets 18 and 21 minutes. Close game, he got 25 minutes. Another blowout, he gets 30. So last 2 games where he played 30 minutes were both blowouts. So he gets extended run in the blowouts. He is a guy they are trying to develop. So when the game gets out of the hand, they play him. And key thing for this one is they're playing Thunder, the best team in the league, and the spread is at 16. So if they blow them out, he gets extended run, and he's kind of the leading guy in these garbage minutes, so that could be great. Also, he already played against OKC and had 17 points and rebounds in the game, and everyone was healthy. And now there is no Maturin, so kind of the guy that plays his position, so he could end up even with more minutes. So if he gets 20 plus, this should be a great spot because, as I said, if you take a look at the entire season, when he gets 20 plus, let's say 20 to 30 minutes, he's covering this in 22 out of 27, averaging 14.6 points and rebounds. He scores most of his points in spot up and from catch and shoot, and Thunder ranks dead last against spot up and allowing third most catch and shoot. So looking at the addition of rebounds, we can see that Thunder allows 7th most rebounds. If you take a look at the last 15 games, they actually allow 2nd most rebounds. So last 10 games, they allow the most rebounds in the league. So with no Isaiah Hartenstein, they are kind of allowing the most rebounds in the league. So this bet makes a ton of sense. Blowout proof. Jarace Walker over 11.5 points and rebound. So guys, if you like this kind of analysis and research, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. My fourth official bet will be Toumani Camara over 12.5 points, and we are also getting plus money on this unbelievable spot. So the thing is, they are back to back, and last game we had return of Jeremy Grant, Danny Avdija, and Drew Holiday. Some of these guys could be out tonight because last game against the Kings was a back-to-back. They played against the Lakers, and then both Grant and Holiday were out. So this is another back-to-back game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sit. But even if they play, doesn't change much for Toumani. When he gets his minutes, we can see that on the season, Toumani Camara, when he gets expected minutes, he's covering this line 25 out of 34 game, averaging 14.6 points a game. And this matchup is actually great for his spot up. And when he's playing teams outside of top 10 in spot up defense, he covers this line in 22 out of 26 games, averaging 15 points a game. And earlier this season, he played against the Raptors and had 21 points. And in that game, Grant played, Avdija played, Shadon Sharp played. Only guy that was missing was Drew Holiday. And I think he'll be out tonight as well. So, yeah, long the spot for Toumani Camara. Huge upside for this. The spread for this game is only 3.5. Should be close. And we can also see that similar players like Tyson and Easton covered their lines against the Raptors. And similar players by position also covered in 9 out of the last 15, averaging 30% more points than their closing lines. We had Kachimura covering, Jarace Walker covering, Paul George covering, Kelly Oubre, Hauser. Also looking at their defense on the season, they are ranked as 5th best defense. And if we take a look at the last 15, they are kind of just average on defense. So Yeah, Toumani, no reason for Toumani line to be at 12.5, and he is doing so great against this line the entire season. So that's our fourth official bet. And now let's move to the fifth official bet, and that will be Malik Monk over 11.5 points. If you don't have available 11.5 points, over 13.5 points and assists at FanDuel also works, or even going up to the over 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists. But I prefer first over 11.5 points, then secondly over 13.5 points and assists. So let's first start with over 11.5 points. We can see that over the last 3 games he played 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and 26 minutes. So great minutes for Malik Monk lately, and we can see expected minutes sit between 20 and 30 minutes. And in games with 20 to 30 minutes, he's averaging 25.8 minutes. He's also averaging 15.7 points in those games. If you go to the points and assists at 13.5, we cover this in 19 out of 22. For this one, we need to check the injury report. We need to include the games with Lavin playing, DeRozan playing, Westbrook playing. In those games, nothing changes. He still covered this in 17 out of 20 games, averaging 15.3 points. Let's now try adding Schroeder and Domantas Sabonis in the lineup. Sample size is much smaller, but he still covered this in 7 out of 9 games, averaging 14.4 points a game. So these are great numbers for Malik Monk. Looking at the matchup, he scores most of his points with pull-ups and catch and shoot. Cleveland Cavaliers rank bottom 5 of the league in both. He scores most of his points from above the break 3. We can see that Cleveland Cavaliers allow 6 most above the break 3 points. He doesn't score much in the paint where Cleveland Cavaliers excels. We can see a ton of his points come from spot up, transition, free throws, isolation. They are only top defense in pick and roll ball handler. With Lavin on the team, with DeRozan, with Sabonis, he won't do much as a pick and roll ball handler. So looking at the matchup, it's absolutely great. So fifth official bet is Malik Monk over 11.5 points. And now let's do one lean. I have Alperen Sengun over 18.5 points, minus 120 as my lean. It's a back-to-back game after overtime last night, so could be a rough spot. He's also playing against a team that doesn't allow any points to opposing bigs. We can see that all 4 similar players stayed under. Towns only 6 points, Adebayo 15, AD only 15 points. So it's not looking great. They are also second best defense against the rim, also the best defense against post-up. But this line dropped so much. When we look at the expected minutes for Alperen Sengun, we can see that in the entire season he's averaging 21 points. And now the line dropped to 18.5. He already played them this season, scored 17, but shot 5 from 18 and 10 free throws. That's insane usage. So in that game, he had 28% usage and 18 field goal attempts with so many free throws. So if you take a look at the entire season, if he gets usage anyway similar to this, like when he gets usage at least 22%, and in that game he had 28%. In 22% or higher usage, he covered this in 14 out of 17 games with 22.6 points average. So he kind of cooks with this volume. Houston Rockets don't have much to score. It's KD and Sengun mostly. Other guys are just like spot up or finishing like in transition. So when it comes to the self-creation, it's mostly on Sengun and KD to score. So we could see another game with huge volume. But as I said, back-to-back of the overtime against the 76ers could be in a rough spot for the Rockets. So that's why I'm going with this as a lean only. So guys, thank you for watching. Hope we have a bounce back day and see you into the next one.